All right, y'all. I just sent that to her so I can get her over if she comes. All right, so thank you guys all for coming today. I want to go ahead and say that I'm going to make this as painless as possible, as quick as possible, so that we all can get back to our regular scheduled programming that happens after 5 o'clock on a weekday. That is your personal lives. So, uh, if you're here for the biomedical science, you're in the right place. I'm your facilitator. I am Dr. Jamie Del Mario, but most of you on this call just call me Jamie, so that's great. 10 years of education experience in education science ed. I used to be a high school health science teacher, teaching microbiology, anatomy, and physiology 1 and 2, and biology. I taught those same subjects at a community college up the street, all the several different Dallas colleges. I live in Dallas and was also a campus administrator for 2 different high schools here in Dallas for Dallas ISD. I kept the title of a campus instructional coach at the time for science, and then popped over to another charter school. I was a campus or a regional lead for administration, where I was able to be the science achievement specialist. It's a kind of a title that's more of a regional coaching role, where you coach assistant principals and principals and teachers, of course, from 5th grade all the way up to 12th grade sciences. Got 4 years of experience in industry within the laboratory science field. Was an undergraduate microbiology researcher working on dysentery bacteria called Shigella, and also cystic fibrosis and biofilm magnification. My education experience is bachelor's in biology, microbiology, master's in biological interdisciplinary studies, and doctorate in science education. So you could just see, I just really love science, and I was forced to do that. So that was that Band-Aid ripoff. Share out here. I'm going to go ahead and have Sarah share out, because I know we all have kind of messaged me about things that you might have to get to. So Sarah, will you please go ahead and share out your name, title, company, and one thing that you're excited about for the year, if you can. If you can't, let me know. That's cool.
Of course. Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah Latour. Sorry, I'm taking this call from home. Um, I am located in Delaware. I partnered with IDEA through Christiana Care's Gene Editing Institute, where we have an experimental kit that we developed in-house and then manufactured through Carolina Biological. So they have been wonderful in assisting us in kind of taking that research experiment and then applying that into more of a teaching toolkit for high school students. I'm really excited about just seeing how your biomedical science program expands its curriculum to include not only CRISPR and what we do in our research lab, but really more insight on the techniques and how that relates to our education program for our students. So that will help me kind of create more curriculum and really guide our experiments in the way where students will be able to relate to them better from a teacher's point of view. So I appreciate, the opportunity to be a part of the call. And if you guys have any questions, please let me know.
Thanks, Sarah. So, not skipping. Um, and I have most of my the rest of the participants on the call today from actual campuses, and so unless there's something else you guys want to say to introduce yourselves, you probably all know each other, but I am going to say your campus and your name. So we have Valeria De Leon and Marianne Cifuentes. They're kind of on the same. Oh no, they logged on separately, but they're working together right now in the lab at Tres Lagos. They're actually making petri dishes and on this call at the same time. So woohoo! Shouts out to you guys. Sergio Blackcolor over at San Benito College Prep. And so I appreciate him. He's a brand new teacher for biomedical science coming into our pathway this year. But he's not new to ideas, so he knows the ropes, and he's one of our master teachers too. So lots of accolades, and I feel blessed to have him on the team and learn from him as well. And then Jesus Avalos, also one of our course leaders, just like Marianne and Valeria. And Jesus is coming from health professions. And what campus is that at? That's on our Austin campus. Yeah. So thank you guys for being representatives today. Today's gonna feel a little weird because it was kind of more so intended for our industry partners to kind of mingle along with you, converse with you, and myself in this work. You probably have already known about all of the things we're going to cover the first half of the session, so I will breeze through it because it is something that you're familiar with. Our purpose of our advisory board meeting, though, is to basically merge our industry partners with our teachers, myself, and our students to get our program to be better, to get our curriculum to be better, to get our equipment and the things we're doing in our classrooms to be better. Um, I will skip this slide. This is just an overview of each of the 4 courses that we have and a description of what those courses are really starting to or trying to focus on. And so I will skip, but you can see our lovely pictures, some of those of which came from your classroom. So that's great. This, again, I will skip as well because of other people on the call already are familiar with it because they're teaching these classes. And so biotechnology 1, 2, and 3, their storyboards are there, which is representative of like what each unit in the unit plan is about. And if you click there, of course, it'll take you to those storyboards so that you can review them. If an industry partner was on the call, then we would go in and kind of talk about what each of the courses are, get their ideas on it, get their takes. And so for you guys on the call, what you might want to do is take this with you, print it out. Some of you already have it in your classrooms as posters. I know that one of my teachers at Robindale did that. And so when your industry partners do come visit you, then you can show them the overview and then get their feedback on it. They may say that that's really cool, or I actually would have moved that to this course instead. And so it's valuable information for us to have to make our curriculum better. Some of the images you're seeing on the screen are just students from this year, students from the first year, students from the last 3 years that this program has been at IDEA. So these are our IDEA students doing medical science work. And this picture, quite frankly, just makes me happy. So there are 2 reasons that, 2 major reasons that industry partners are important to us and to me. They connect the teachers to they connect with teachers and they do things like lab training. They offer things for our teachers like industry best practices and enhance the content knowledge of our teachers as well. On the left-hand screen, you'll see a picture of some of you guys right there at our Rio Grande Valley UTRGV Partners campus. And on the right side, you'll see an image of when our industry partners kind of link in with our students. And so this is a recent picture that happened just last week where Tres Lagos put on our very first showcase. Originally trying to plan it to be a region and then having to kind of scale down again for our first year, but it was phenomenal. You'll see that we had UTRGV present at that event as well as UT Health Houston Bioinformatics Center, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But they were there and they brought some graduate students to judge some of the projects that you guys have already done in your classrooms, and then were able to give prizes or student certificates for everybody that did participate. And I just got a lovely picture in the inbox of my email today showing me the medals and the student names being engraved on the medals. So they are being made right now and I'm really excited about it. And they think that they can have them delivered tomorrow. But my problem is they need to get that PO out there before they deliver because they're not going to deliver something we haven't paid for. But just so you know, we're trying to basically create a pipeline for our students to enter a workforce and a culture of get them to be familiar with the culture of the workplace in this field. And so we want them to have positive, impactful experiences. And so that's one of the things that are really important about having our industry partners. So some of the images you guys sent me today of your classrooms, just kind of thinking about all the heck, I won't say HE double hockey sticks, but all the heck you went through to get your classroom organized. That still is probably in the works today. It's still probably never done. It's probably like one of those things that you feel like you have to continue to do and maintain organization actually when you have so many kids touching several different things, which we want them to touch, right? But then you have to put things back into place and make sure things are organized. But imagine coming into a classroom where you've inherited that classroom from the previous teacher and they have things organized. We've got to figure out their whole Dewey Decimal System. And so what I have done with you guys is you've seen me come to your campuses and attempt to, in that one day or that 4 hours that I'm there, try to get my hands on some of your equipment, try to organize. But the truth of the matter is that I only start the tip of the ice and that when I leave, most of the work gets done. It is important, though, that you tap into the industry professionals, because I remember when I was once a teacher and I had an industry professional come to my classroom and help me organize my space. That is something that I want to get the ball rolling on this year, and going into next year. And so think about that as another opportunity for your industry professional to assist you in. Because when I leave, sometimes, you don't see me again for another 6 months or so. So here's some of the roadblocks that we have encountered this year. Teachers not attempting certain labs. Maybe it's just overwhelming. There's some protocols that even Val was showing me in Biotech 1 this year. There's like, this needs to be scaled down. We need to revise. We know that's definitely the case in Biotech 2, with some of those labs being generated from our industry partners. Um, and so other things we've seen as roadblocks are in-person lab organizational support. Like I just showed you, you may have inherited a classroom, or you're being forced into a new room and you have to reorganize that space. And so that has been a roadblock this year. And then finally, student and teachers kind of being uncertain, which probably isn't anybody on this call, but I had seen it a lot last year. I think this year I stamped it so hard that people are like, I get it, we're not nursing science. But in the beginning, it was a bit of a mix up about what biomedical science was versus what nursing science was. Here are our needs from that. Because teachers are not attending labs, we know we need teacher equipment and lab training to be more prevalent. And so we know industry partners can lead in with that. Rudimentary capstone projects. We know that some of the capstone projects are not the best, and we want to revise them. And so CMs, me, thinking through the curriculum reviewing and with our industry partners is important. And then because of the in-person lab organizational support, we know the industry partners can help with that planning. Even during PD times, they can come and help as well. That's an option. And then because students and teachers being uncertain, we know that it's important for teachers to go off-site, off of your campuses, to go visit these biomedical science institutions with laboratories, as well as your students. So because of this, there are 3 pockets of committees that we've created this year. Most of our industry partners actually go to these events versus our big showcase. I mean, not showcase, our big event that's happening currently, which is why we're experiencing what we're experiencing today with kind of the lack of participation here from industry partners, with the exception of Christianity Care, right? Thank you for being here. But because they kind of lean in separate ways other than just this one show. And so here are the 3 ways that they have been leaning in, and here are the 3 committees, therefore, that we've created this year. The Student Engagement and Outreach Circle, there's an Innovation and Alignment Circle, and then there is the Professional Learning and Industry Experience Circle. These 3 circles have a reason or a rhyme behind them that I want to go through really quickly, and that is right here on the screen. So for the Student Engagement and Outreach Circle, this is where the industry partner gets time, face time with the students. They connect the professionals with the students here. We come together to plan when those connections are going to happen. And you can see on the screen that UT Health Houston was in attendance at the Tres Lagos Showcase. And so you'll see that that's kind of what we're aiming for when we plan these events. Val and Marianne and I had the first hand with this on our own, but it is now going to be something that a committee can work on as a team versus just the 3 of us. It can be something that you might be a part of as well, to figure out when are you going to get industry partners on your campus, and what will they do with your students, or can your students go to visit their campuses? So it'll be a really great idea for you to be a part of this particular advisory board committee, because you want that type of face time with your industry professional. And so the upcoming meeting for this one is on November 17th. It will be virtual. I'm going to block off the full day on November 17th to dedicate to each of these outreach committees, of this particular outreach committee. And there'll be pockets of time in which I'll meet and have an industry partner meet, and then you'll be there so that you can kind of talk through when they will come, what they would do, and all of that jazz. And so those meetings are happening on November 17th, and more to be coming out to you later on this event and what that looks like for you on November 17th, because it's a work day for you. So what does that look like? How would you attend? What to expect and all of that? Who's coming? Advisory board committee for this is the next one. So it's the Innovation and Alignment Circle. This committee is dedicated to my curriculum, our curriculum, strengthening curriculum and making it accurate, making it modern, making it relevant. Is my mathing, is my sciencing, is the things that I'm saying and putting into curriculum accurate and factual. That matters. And then does it make sense for the structure of our own um, courses? So what you'll see on the screen here is a picture of the CRISPR in a box kit. This is a kit, again, developed by the Christiana Care team. Sarah's on the call representing this team. And so what we are doing this year with this part of our MOU is for me to lean in with them to scale this lab to a more practical experience for our team, for it to be 1 hour pockets of classroom time, instruction taking place. Right now, kind of the kit, Sarah might tell us more about it or at a later time, but like part of the kit is like you can do the lab up into a certain point, or you can do the full lab. It takes place on several different days. And so knowing all of those things and the dynamics that the lab occurs on, it's important for us to structure the curriculum so it makes sense. So when it comes to you, you can easily read it and execute it. And so that's what we're working on this year with the CRISPR in a box. But that doesn't mean that's the only curriculum product we're working on. We're working on lots of curriculum products that do just that. And it could be something that's like a protocol that I wrote as well, or it could be a protocol that it could be an actual topic or a lecture as well. However, with the Christiana team, it's like dedicated to this thing only. With other industry partners, they may lean into some other products that we have as far as curriculum. So the innovation and alignment circle team is near and dear to my heart because it's like touching right at what I create every day for our programs. And then professional learning and industry experience circle. This is the committee that will get together. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped the date that other one's meeting. The innovation and alignment circle, the team that's on the curriculum, pretty much will be meeting on December 1st. And that is a Monday as well. And that's a virtual, everybody's is virtual. Again, I'm going to block the whole December 1st day off, and then I'll have schedules or pockets of the time in which I'm dedicating to just one of the courses and one of the products or one of the curriculum items with that team of industry partners and potential teachers as well. And so May 4th is the other day that we are going to be able to meet for this committee, and that's the professional learning and industry experience circle. And that circle is dedicated to trying to find experiences for our teachers to go see, to get our teachers out, way out. In this case, they went to the University of Delaware just last year. And I got the pleasure of doing this not once but twice so far, and I love Delaware. It's so beautiful there. You can actually breathe. It's not polluted, and it's green, and I love it. And the campus is beautiful, but also the lab experience. The people on that lab team are also beautiful and really cool people. So lots of friendships made, and I want you guys to be able to have the same type of experience as yours on your own when you are able to go somewhere during the summer. So we do have funds that we allow for teachers to go explore and go into your field. In our field is biomedical science, but sometimes you might have a conference that touches on bioscience, or you might go to a lab like we did here. So that committee is going to meet on May 4th, and that is going to be kind of designed around our upcoming PD for the following year. That committee will meet on that topic, but they'll also meet on like summer training opportunities that you'll see like this for teachers. So next steps, choose a committee. It was my hope that more of our industry partners would be here, of course, like I said, but I didn't get to play this, like this video. It is now game time. Think through which committee you feel like fits you or suits you best. Or if you aren't familiar with any of the committees, you're not ready to jump in, leap in, you can still fill out the form and place somebody else's name there that might be somebody I should tap into or reach out to. Let me drop the link in the chat for everybody just in case you can't access the one that says click here, but you should be able to click there and it'll take you to the link. Let me drop that link here. No, that's the Teams. That's the wrong link. Sorry, y'all. Let me try again. Copy, paste. That's still the Teams link. It's just doing the Teams link. So let me delete that. Try this one more time. And then I might have to give up. Okay, now there's the link. This is the link to sign up or send this link to somebody you know should be on our committee. Um, if you're a teacher, again, you can be on a committee. What it would look like is, because I'm blocking off the full day, you would pick that day during your planning period. You would tap into the meeting on that day, lean into the curriculum product that we're talking about if it's a curriculum day, or lean into the space with the industry partner about where they would have your students go or visit, or when they would come visit you, or if they're going to do a career fair, they will be present. You guys will be able. It's just time on your calendar that you're able to get in touch with the industry partner and start planning for them to get together with you or your students. Or if they're on our other circle, I'm trying to remember all the names of our circles. So we've got the student engagement outreach circle I just talked about, the curriculum circle we just talked about. Oh, or at the end of the year, if you want to be a part of deciding where we go, like, hey, Jamie, I researched and I found this conference that I think I want to go to. Can you help me get there? This is a time for us to connect with industry partners or you to decide, like, I want to go to this conference. And so come to the committee meeting so that we can like make that the conference that we push out to teachers this year. And if you have any ideas for professional development next year, that will be the time to do that as well. So reflections here, I've talked a lot. I want to leave the last few minutes or last 30 minutes here for us to discuss. We will not use the full entire 30 minutes if nobody has anything to discuss, but I do ask you to fill out the form or send the form to somebody you know that would be great for this, any of these three circles. And now we can reflect. So I would just love somebody to kind of spot their takeaways from today's session. What might you be eager to lean into, or what might you have an idea about a friend or colleague of yours that like he or she would be perfect with this? And what is one commitment you want to see from us? If you're on the call, of course, Sarah, if you're on the call and you are like, you know what, I really think that instead of kind of me talking about what we're going to do, because we already know what capacity in which we're working together, what would you like to see from us in the same light? Okay, y'all, I officially am done talking. So let's get some reflections, and then after reflections, we can hang up our call and say goodbye.
Hey everyone. I just wanted to add in. I thought this was great to have a second to kind of see what are some of the challenges and reflection points. I would definitely be curious to get more insight on the challenge of some experiments not getting the opportunity to really jump into them throughout the school year, whether that's a skill thing or a preparation aspect. I know as a partner we really aim to make you guys feel confident not only in the CRISPR in a box kit, but in your lab in general. So if there's still certain equipment that you can think of that's you got the PD day to kind of deep dive it, but you feel like throughout the year, that some of that knowledge kind of goes to the back burner. You need like a refresher. We could always think creatively of different ways to kind of have either materials on hand or videos to potentially use. To kind of refresh some of those skills. I know in house, we're going to be shooting the new CRISPR in a box videos here by November. So hopefully by Christmas, um, you guys will hopefully have some new materials to review to kind of give a better guidance on how to actually implement the kit. But thinking outside of just CRISPR in a box, if you can think of like certain equipment or materials or, a certain type of experiment that you would like to deep dive, definitely send it over to Jamie, and Jamie will be sure to relay that right over to us, and we can make sure that we have any of that and any guidance that we can provide available to you as well.
I'll let that sit. Did anybody have any reflections on some of the equipment that are still kind of foggy to you? Like what Sarah was just asking about.
I can go ahead and chip in. I have noticed that a lot of teachers are struggling with the spectrophotometers. Personally, even the older model, thankfully, micro doesn't use it as much. But during my year in biotech, I did have a little bit of issue with the older model. I don't know if maybe you guys have an older model that maybe you guys could create a little video on a how-to guide. We've been trying to make it work, but it still gives us some errors sometimes, so it's a little confusing. Besides that, I think everything, well, for me, is a little bit clear. I know some teachers are struggling with the actual mechanics, I guess, of some of the equipment. Some of them are a little too high tech. So maybe also the nano spectrophotometer, just a little how-to guide of like how to find things on the screen, things like that. But thank you so much, Sarah.
No, of course. Hi, Marian. It's nice to talk to you again. And yeah, essentially, when coming into the Gene Editing Institute, we got this beautiful fancy equipment, but of course, I wasn't really well versed on the nano spectrophotometer at first. So that was definitely more of a learning curve. And Jamie has been kind enough to send me and Amanda an equipment list of what you guys all should have on hand. So I'll make sure to take some time to go back and reflect and even think about in my own college classroom what spectrophotometer I used then for some of my studies, because then that might be more relatable or comparable to what you guys or some teachers might still have in the lab, and that might translate a little bit better versus us only kind of speaking on the nano spec.
And I did notice that Jeanette just popped up and finally got her over. I was worried about you. I couldn't get you in. I'm glad you're here.
Thank
I
you.
want to go back for a second because I want you to share. I will go back to the first page where it says, there it is. Ah, you're out. This one. Oh, she's driving. Jeanette.
I can't see the picture because I'm actually at a stop right now.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Okay, so it's
yeah.
just like your name, your title, company, and what you're excited about.
Okay, sure. So my name is Jeanette Brochures. I work for UT Health Houston School of Biomedical Informatics and School of Public Health. My title is Assistant Director of South Texas Region, and I'm excited because um, one of the things that we've committed to is try to be more involved in pathway and pipeline programs to help students understand more about what biomedical informatics is at a younger age so that when they get to college, they can take the right courses and we can get more data scientists out there and more informaticians to help us improve healthcare.
Yeah. Thank you so much again for coming out. And I mentioned you earlier. I just want you to know that I did plug you and I plugged. Yes, I plugged how you're reaching in. I do want to make sure I say this. We have three committees that we are talking about now, and then kind of just getting some reflections from the spiel they just heard. But our three committees are one is involved in curriculum, the other is involved in our teacher professional development, and then the other one is kind of involved in our student touch points. So I kind of went through those. This one is the first one on student engagement and outreach. Your images here. I know you're driving, so don't look down, but your images here with one of our students at the Tres Lagos showcase that you just attended, and kind of talking about how we're having a meeting on November 17th, and I booked off the entire calendar day, and I'm just going to ask industry partners when they might be able to meet on that day, and then see which teachers can come out to try to connect teachers with our industry partners to see if there's any events that they're putting on where their students can have touch points with you or planning those events in that time and space on November 17th. There is a second committee that is about our curriculum, and that meeting is taking place on December 1st. Again, I've blocked off the entire calendar for me on that day. And then on that day, whenever anybody can meet to talk about any of the curriculum products, I will be there along with any industry partners or any teachers that may want to talk about a curriculum product and revising that. And our third date is on May the 4th. And that one is our spring one where it's on 2026. But this one will discuss professional development opportunities for teachers in that summer and then coming into the next year, professional development opportunities. And so this is where industry partners will connect with me, teachers, and about next year or the summer, where what opportunities you might have available for teachers to visit or for you to visit or whomever. So we ended on the next steps where there's a sign up link there, and I'll drop that sign up link in the chat one more time just in case you can come back to it. And also I'll send a thank you out to everybody that came out today where you'll see the link there as well. So that was my shorthand version of everything that we just went through. And so if anybody has any more reflections, I would love to hear wonderings, takeaways, and what committee you might be excited to experience this year.
Jamie, if we're interested in two committees, can we serve on more than one?
Yeah. Yeah. If, please.
Okay. Thanks. Because I need
Yeah.
more
And
work, but no.
it's as involved as you want it to be. It is. I don't mean to have this be another meeting that you're participating in. It is more like, hey, I seek an opportunity to get I met Tres Lagos. They were lovely individuals. What is San Benito talking about? Yeah. And so San Benito's one of our teachers from San Benito's on the call right now, Sergio Blackcollar. So Sergio, make a connection, okay? Because Jeanette, I know she was in the Rio Grande Valley area, so I don't think that's too far from where you were to do another touch point with your students. And then
for sure.
Jesus, yeah. Jesus Avalos is on the call too. He is in Austin though, and I don't know how far that is to you, but yeah.
Yes. Well, if we're in San Antonio or in that area, we can always do a quick trip up to Austin at the same time.
Hey guys. All right. Yay, connections. So please fill in the form, and if you have a friend that you want to recommend, fill it in. If there's nothing else, guys, I don't want to hold you for no reason. So any last minute reflections, now's your time. Or to say hi, my name is, I want to talk to you, Jeanette. Or hi, my name is, I want to talk to you, Sarah. Okay. All right. Well, again, thank you so much for coming. I have my last slide that has a thank you on it, just so you know. I made a thank you slide, and I'm going to make a thank you letter. The next advisory board meeting, just like this, will be on Thursday, April 23rd, 2026. Wow, 2026. And y'all, I can't believe we did it. We did it because this used to be a dog and pony show where we would just come and you would talk about the program and it would be a little bit of waste of time. But we actually have dates on the calendar now. We actually have times in which we can commit to doing some work, and we're doing work. And so I just thank y'all for actually being present and being here. And so have a great rest of your day, and hit me up and hit up your industry partners. Okay. Bye guys.
Jimmy, thanks.
Bye, everyone. Have a great afternoon.